Thanks to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders, the Giants are currently front runners for the #1 pick in next year's draft. So let's talk about how it all could potentially shape out with our New York Post NFL reporter, Ryan Dunleavy. Ryan, thanks for hopping on with this, man. I hate talking about the draft during Christmas time, but in the words of Adoree Jackson, it's all about next season at this point. So we've seen the planes over MetLife. We've heard all the fire everybody noise on social media, but there's 2 games left in the season. Coaches got to coach, players got to play. So does 1 win or 2 wins to close out the season quiet some of that noise surrounding Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen?
No, I think it would amplify the noise, Brandon, because I think fans would be so angry that they lost what they have right now, which is the #1 pick in the draft, that they would fall to like 6 or 7 if they won a game. So I actually think there would be more noise. Like, it might make John Mara's decision to keep them easier if that's what he wanted to do. I'm not sure that's actually what he wants to do at this point, but it might make it easier. But I actually think the noise around the Giants would be much worse, because it would be like, wow, how did they screw this up too? They were finally handed the #1 pick in the draft, and they let that get away too. Who's going to be the quarterback in 2025 now if it's not Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward? I actually think for the team, the players want to win, but for the good of the organization, I think that would actually ramp up criticism of the Giants at this point, hard as that is to believe.
It's almost like people want to remix the famous Herm Edwards phrase, "Hello, you played to lose the last 2 games," which is crazy to me. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I see it. So at 2 and 13, Ryan, they're in the driver's seat for the #1 overall pick, like we said. They got that 1-game lead over Vegas, New England, Cleveland, and Tennessee. I guess would having the #1 pick be the Giants' Super Bowl for this season?
Yeah, I guess so, right? The problem is it's like not the Super Bowl you want to play in, if that makes sense. Like, last year's draft was loaded with quarterbacks. Early scouts' predictions is that the 2026 draft is going to be better than the 2025 draft. So yes, I guess having the #1 pick would be like the best case scenario for the Giants organization at this point, but it's just not the right year to have it. And that's kind of what happened to the Giants in 2019. They picked their quarterback, Daniel Jones, #6 overall in 2019. They missed out on Josh Allen and Lamar and those guys in 2018, and then they weren't able to pick Justin Herbert or Tua and those guys in 2020 because they had picked Daniel Jones in 2019. Seems like when they decide they need a new quarterback, it's not the right time. But hey, maybe Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, whoever they favor, and I don't know that answer at this point. I don't even think they know as an organization. Maybe that will end up being the right decision that fixes everything. If you get that right, everything else magically falls into place.
Absolutely. Shedeur, Cam, whoever it is, hopefully they come in with some excitement, big arm, be entertaining, and at the end of the day, put some W's, some well-needed W's in the win category for this franchise. Ryan Dunleavy, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, Brandon.